welcome to Mercedes-Benz EQA 250. We are all new, we are all electric, and we are looking pretty good. It is freezing cold, so without further ado, I'd say let's hop in and find out what this fresh German is all about. Okay, time to flex some muscles and measure the acceleration. I'm gonna put this car into sport mode. What else can I do? Absolutely nothing. So, foot on the brake, foot on the throttle. Come on, Mercedes, show me what you got. So the declared 0 to 100 is 8.9 seconds, and I am gone 7.85. Not bad, eh? 785. Only 190 horsepower. Well done, Mercedes. The top speed is 160 kilometers an hour. So how does EQA feel to drive? It is comfy. The suspension absorbs pretty much all bumps, potholes and imperfections on the road. Even going over the speed bumps, it is alright. What's interesting is that I do not have adaptive dampers. Now you can get the adaptive dampers only with the premium package. I do have the premium package, but I don't have adaptive dampers, but it's still okay. Now as you trot around town, of course being electric, it is very quiet, relaxing, easy to drive. But even when you hop on the motorway, there's very little tire noise, very little wind noise. Overall, it is a beautiful long distance cruiser. That is of course if you don't mind throwing your declared electric range right out of the window. Alright, let's get down to money. So the base model of the EQA 250 in the UK starts from just under £46,000, which is not bad. And what you get is a nice car. But the model I'm driving today is just a little bit nicer. That's because I do have AMG line package, I've got a premium package, and I also have the premium plus package. Oh yes, a whole lot of extras worth a whopping £16,000. That's right, do your math. So we are talking over £60,000. Now what's interesting, I've got cruise control, I've got lane keeping assist, but I do not have adaptive cruise control, and I have learned about it when I was in a close contact with a car in the front of me. I was giving it a little bit of a cuddle, but anyway, I'm wondering who was speccing this car. I mean, adaptive cruise control is pretty standard in today's world. Perhaps somebody was under influence of mind-altering substances. I'm not sure, but for goodness sake, adaptive cruise control, please spec it next time. But it just shows you what you need to be aware is you need to spec this car very, very carefully, because some things you might not necessarily need, but you just have to be cautious because the sky here, oh boy, is the limit. So before we check the boot space, one of the biggest exterior differences between the GLA and the EQA is this beautiful light running across the back. I really like that. So to open the boot space, I've got electronically operated tailgate, or you simply can use the Mercedes Star. We've got 340 liters of space. Again, if we compare it to GLA, that's 495, quite a bit more. But I still think we've got plenty of space. We've got a really practical shape of the boot, flat floor, which means you can easily slide items in and out. That is a nice bag for your charger, lovely. And that is enough about the boot space.
You've always felt like a part of you has gone missing. I know it's real, but
the steering is nice and light, but it's got a natural feel about it and a very good response. This car is actually very easy to maneuver in and out of car parks. We've got a very good turning circle, and of course the 360 degrees cameras, which are crisp and clear. But the visibility is also very good. No blind spots in the front, big rear window. You're sitting slightly higher up, seeing everything there is to see. We've got 1-speed automatic gearbox, so no pondering, no wandering. That's because we've got no gear shifting. But what we do have is a smooth journey when we accelerate or slow down. What else is smooth are the brakes, which can be a bit of a hit and miss in electric cars. But what I do here most of the times is actually drive in what's so-called the B mode, the braking mode. What this means, I'm only using the throttle pedal and I'm not touching the brake pedal. I lift my foot off the throttle, the car slows down for me, and it will come to a complete stop. There you go. Now this is very convenient and very easy, and what else? It of course charges your own battery. Now I drive usually in the D-, you've got the paddle shifters, to control the intensity of the recuperation process. D- is right. The D double minus I reserve for the congested city because it's a little bit sensitive and it does take a bit of time to get your head around it. But once you do, it really does become part of your day.
Heads in the haze, won't you lean on me? I'll catch you if
And what about being a passenger in EQA? So I have adjusted both front seats for my height, which is just over 1.7 meters, 5'7". I've got very good legroom, very good headroom. Now, the batteries are sitting under the seat, so in order not to steal any of the headroom, the seating position is a little bit low, but it's actually all right. What about the middle seat? Well, actually, this is all right. You do have a small hump here on the floor, but you can fit in an adult here, and a child will be more than fine. Overall, the space here is lovely. We've got this beautiful Alcantara reservoir, and Madame is very happy.
shine on me, shine on me, shine on me, shine on me. I've been going out on
What else becomes part of your day and part of your life is the charging. So I've got a 66 kilowatt hours battery. We can use those fast chargers, 100 kilowatt hours, and it will take us only 30 minutes to take it from 10% to 80%. If you've got one of those home chargers, you can take it from flat battery to full in about 10 hours. Now the declared electric range is 424 kilometers. But let's talk about the real world. So I've driven through a congested city, a bit of B roads, quite a bit of motorway. It is currently -4. I have left this car overnight outside. It was over -10, so quite a severe cold. And my energy consumption is 34 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. 66 by 34, well, it's about 190 kilometers. Is it amazing? No, but I'm afraid it's pretty standard in the industry as of today, with very few exceptions. Now, in an ideal world, you'll be driving through a congested city in a springtime or early autumn, not too much air conditioning, and you probably can get close to this declared range. But do we live in an ideal world? I'm afraid far from it.
I need that. Take it all in now, I see.
And on to the cabin. Business as usual for Mercedes. Mercedes just makes beautiful cabins, full stop. The quality of the materials, the fit and finish is superb. I do like this red stitching running across the cabin. This is the AMG line. Lovely, soft and comfortable seats. We've got Alcantara running all the way down here. I'm a big fan of Alcantara. Now let's jump straight into space and practicality. So, large bottle of water test. You can easily fit that in the door bin. You've got more space down here as well. You can put that bottle in here. You do have to force it a little bit. I hope I'm not going to scratch it. Anyway, moving on. You've got more storage space here. Big pocket. 2 USB-C ports. Lovely. You've got another USB-C port here. 12-volt socket. Very practical. Wireless mobile charging. It is under an angle, so you can still see, you can pick at your screen. You probably shouldn't, but anyway, we all do. Don't we? You can close that shelf if you don't want other people seeing what secret you've got. And don't we all have them? Glove box. It's on the bigger side, very practical, lovely. I do like this steering wheel. I just like Mercedes steering wheels. Lovely. You've got the shortcut buttons here. So you can operate the infotainment system in 3 ways. Using the shortcut buttons on your steering wheel, the pad down here, or your finger, because this is a touch screen. This is a big, actually, screen from Mercedes. I like them, they're my favorite. This is the MBUX system, and are, in my opinion, together with the iDrive from BMW, these two are still the best systems available on the market. The shortcut buttons on your steering wheel do appear to be a bit of a mumbo jumbo to start with, but I promise you, with a bit of time and patience, you will actually start enjoying these. Of course, digital driver's display, you can change the layout, all right, lovely. So the infotainment system, it does have a voice command. Hey Mercedes! And sometimes she decides to completely ignore you. But isn't that the case in life? Yeah, I think so. All right, let's have a look at the graphics. They're really good. The system itself is quick. It is very intuitive. Look how quickly it responds to my fingers. It is also very pleasant to use. You do have some sticky fingers here, but anyway. Straightforward as well, comfort. I do have seat kinetics, lovely. Let's put that on. I'll be a bit more chilled. We want to see that most certainly. Okay, let's have a look at our energy consumption. So I've done my launch control, I've done all my filming, and I was to start with at about 36, 37 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. I am now down to 30. Well done, Anna. God, I feel so green. I mean, you know, it's still not that great, but it just shows you that the climate plays a huge part, not just the driving dynamics. You know, one thing is the motorway in a city, but another thing is really the climate. When it's too hot or when it's too cold, it has a massive impact. Heating and cooling is down to 23. When I hopped in this morning, it was over 60. So it was really trying to warm this car up, and then the battery, like a Dyson. I mean, Dyson does good things, but that wasn't that great. But anyway, it teaches you a lesson. Don't drive an electric in extreme weather conditions if you don't have to. I do like these jet turbines as your climate. Lovely. Okay, you've got the shortcut buttons as well for your climate. This is very practical, you see. You've got traditional knob for your volume, for climate control as well. None of those sliders that some manufacturers have come up with. Actually, when I'm driving, I usually tend to just use either shortcut buttons on my steering wheel or the pad down here, because far less distracting now reaching to your screen, but overall the system is just brilliant. I do like this sort of combination. Lovely. Overall, the cabin, well, what can I say? It is absolutely lovely.
I've been trying to get you out of my head.
Okay, let's put you into sport mode and let's floor it. Well, the throttle response is solid, rather delightful, and the acceleration was certainly salubrious. Of course, being electric, we've got instant torque, 375 Newton meters of it, 190 horsepower. All of the power is being sent to the front wheels. Actually, in sport mode, this car is a lot more alive. Lovely. I like it. Now, what about handling on a twisty road? So just to give an idea, the standard petrol diesel GLA weighs just over 1.5 tons. This one weighs over 2 tons. But somehow Mercedes has managed to mask this extra weight rather well. Is it agile like a cat on a twisty road? Well, no, it was never intended to be. But there's no body lean. It is very well behaved on a twisty road. You feel solid, you feel planted and secure. So let's wrap things up, shall we? The EQA is a smart, good-looking car, a bit tight on specs, so you just have to be careful when selecting options. But more often than not, you just have to be prepared to put some money on the table if you want nice things in this car. Great interior, great tech, solid driving dynamics, and I find it a little bit unfair when people complain, oh, but the boot size in the EQA is a little bit too small. Well, let me emphasize, this is not a big SUV. This is more of a crossover, and it should be treated as such. Overall, I think it's a really nice package if you're after a medium-sized premium electric. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you all very, very soon. Bye!